Alright guys, so I got another story for you. Um, and this one comes from Shadowrun. And this is this is kind of a weird one. Well, a little bit weird. Light on the weird side. More funny than I think than anything. But so I ended up joining this Shadowrun group, and the Shadowrun group cycled through some like 15 people, and to the and it has a couple different storytellers, and the storytellers that cycle through, they all have like this signed entry sheet and everything. So everything that you get, every piece of notoriety you get, and everything you get over time, and so someone signed off on it. And you collect all these little sheets and everything to keep accountability for your character and the stuff that you get. Okay, the game itself was completely mission oriented, and when I say completely mission oriented, I mean like it'd be the equivalency of saying that we had a D&D game that was hack slash. You go on missions, and that you perform the details of it. And it's funny because we never had a decker, which, you know, having a decker in the game just, you know, it's like having an extra person that plays their own game. But so I had a couple, you know, strange things happen with this game and everything that just made it a complete pain in the ass game to play. So my character, you know, I'm one of those people that I always want to play what I want to play. And so like the guys were trying to convince me to make a street samurai, and I'm gonna tell you guys this and everything. I have a really hard time bringing myself just to make a combat-oriented character. I love skilled characters. I love role-playing. I love getting into my characters, and you know, it's the type of characters I prefer. Every once in a while, I'll get a wild hair, and I'll decide to go ahead and make a character that's like a warrior or something like that. But typically, I'm more of a skill-based character, charismatic-based character, or something like that. And so I went ahead and made a face. And now I know that this is my problem and everything, because I made a face and two of the characters in the game that two of the players that showed up, you know, all the time, they both had characters that neither one was a face, but both of them were very charismatic. And the players that played in this game were if you ever seen a character that a player that min-max characters and everything, yeah, I mean you're bound to at least get one of them in your game. This entire game was based off of min-max characters, and well, everything that I did, you know, they were throwing 3 times the amount of dice as I was throwing, because they took everything you could take in the book to min-max their character and everything, and pretty much make their characters broken. But the storyteller, and I have to applaud him for this, and this is something that I do myself and everything, is I used to win on every social challenge over the other players, and because I roleplayed. So, you know, to give you an example, we go and we're trying to get this professor and this guy to go do this thing on this island and everything that's shrouded in mist, and we're trying to get him to work for us. And the other players, the highly charismatic players, are all, oh, you need to come with us. Roll persuasion or whatever their diplomacy was. I can't remember. It's hard to keep all the systems up in my head. And I mean, these guys are not very good at role playing, and they really, well, it's not that there's not so much as good at role playing and everything, because I hate to say that, and I hate to sound like an elitist because you know, it's that they weren't even trying. They weren't even trying. And granted, the game was kind of slapstick humorish, and you know that they would just do some weird stuff. Like there was a guy who had a cork, and he was constantly wearing a luchador mask. You know, and they would do all kinds of weird things in the game and everything. Things that would give away our location, things that would make us really stand out. Um, things that would just, you know, in normal situations, it would definitely draw the police. And they were constantly doing stuff like that. But so we go in and we see this professor, and I forgot the exact phrase he uses and everything. Oh, you know, you need to come with us. You know, we need you. Blah blah blah, blah blah blah. And me, you know, I turn on the charm. So you know, I'm like, Professor such and such. Your skills are needed. We would like to hire you for this purpose. We heard that you were the top of your field as far as being able to do this, and we wanted you to be able to do this, and maybe. And I read your dissertation, and I think that this would go along with it as far as this. And so I really sold it. And so you know, even though I'm only throwing, let's say it was like 5 or 6 dice at this, and the other guys were throwing like 18, 20 dice. So something ridiculous. You know, I was able to win over. But you know, here's like one of the problems that I found with this game is that I jumped into a game where the characters were so ridiculously min-maxed that my character had nothing to bring to the table. I meant, if it wasn't for, you know, years of role playing and, you know, being able to sell a good line of shit, my character would have nothing. And like when my character went into combat, and everybody puts something into combat, you know, we got something going, and we're talking about like we're hitting guys, and these guys are all equal to this guy, and I'm like literally one of those guys because you know I'm starting off. I've been here for a month or two. I want to say like 2 months into the game, and they hit me once, and they could kill me twice over in one round of combat. Whereas the other guys, they're just, you know, they're perfectly fine. So I'm in this game, and I'm being brutally slaughtered every single game session. And so I finally, you know, talk to the storyteller, because I understand this, and you know, and I understand. Okay, I'm the low level new guy, and they're the high level mid max characters, and you know, obviously there's a difference between the two of us, but my character is being beaten to death every single combat scenario. I mean, literally beaten unconscious every single combat scenario, usually before my initiative kicks in, and I got a decent initiative. So before I could do anything, and the times that I'm lucky enough to actually get a hit in, or I'm hit, you know, a couple times, but I managed to live by like, you know, like a health or so, you know, I'm obviously going to miss and everything because, you know, I'm fighting with so many negatives. And even if I didn't have those negatives, I was going to miss anyways because the guys are so much more brutally stronger than I am. But so the storyteller's telling me, he's like, hey, you know, these guys really, they really know how to make their character. They min-max the character, and they're making the I make the mobs and everything to cater to their combat skill. And I'm like, okay, well, I get that, and you know, I respect that. However, I've been coming here for a few months. You know, I'm here. I'm here every single time the game goes by, and I'm always here, boots on the ground. Now, at some point, are you gonna remember that I'm here? Maybe throw in a couple light mobs and everything to keep me preoccupied. Maybe sit there and remember, you know, hey, this guy doesn't have a lot of hit points. You know, maybe I shouldn't, you know, beat him to death in one round of combat. You know, and if you're a GM, you probably know this and everything. Like as a if you're there's nothing wrong with adding the first level guy. Um, I've done it before. Granted, well, first off, I don't, as a general rule, I don't like using XP to level characters, but XP is a great way to level characters. But at the very least, if you're going to add someone to the game, you're definitely going to want to do, and this is me though, you're going to want to level them every, every game session they level once. This way, it allows them to organically grow, but at the same time, they're not always stuck with, like a 3 or 4 level gap between them and the rest of the party. Everybody that's playing a character is going to want to shine in their own element. Having someone that is a fighter and they're leveling and they're 3 or 4 levels behind the bard, and the bard is a more effective, fighter than they are, and they will always be a more effective fighter than they are until like level 18, or something like that, because such a vast difference of experience points, because you came into a game and you're like level 8 or something like that. And the same thing with Shadowrun, because you're missing all of these extra points, and you start dumping the points in there, you're just not gonna work. But having the player come in there and just brutalize them every single round. And I was a good sport. I came in there, did my little role playing thing, got killed. And when I say killed, I'm just beaten unconscious, but they're able to bring me back and everything. And plus, I kind of knew that it would be very easy for me to die, so I really dropped a lot of money on those docks. They come out there and they save me every time. Oh, he's dead. Oh, we're there. I'm pretty sure that they're hanging a block away from me. Just waiting for me to die now. But you get brutalized over and over again, and everybody else is more powerful than you. And I ended up leaving the game, and it's not because I love Shadowrun. I love Shadowrun, but I ended up leaving the game, and I didn't leave the game because of getting brutalized. To a certain degree, I could suck that up, and I'm pretty sure over time I could probably work something out with the storyteller, so he wasn't beating the living dog crap out of me every time. However, the thing that really drew me away from this particular game is that nobody was role playing, and and the characters were so comical and non-realistic, and to see someone that has like they're throwing 20 dice on their persuasion check, and everything that's coming out of their mouth is not persuasive at all. If anything, would be the opposite. Would it was killing me to constantly be in that type of an environment. I like a good role playing, and that's my style though. I like good role playing. Hack and slash is fun, but I'm not a huge hack and slash fan. I really like to get into my character, and the game I was playing in, even though they cycled through like 10 people, there were 2 people that were really role playing, and it was me and the storyteller, and it was weird because there were so many people with charismatic skills, and they were literally doing a contest of dice, and I persuade him, roll dice, and every time though, the weird thing is every time the storyteller wanted him to actually, or him or her, to actually to role play it out, and said, okay, well, you got to sell it to me, and the guy would be like it was the first time he learned how to talk. Yeah, you need to come with us because of this. We need you, 20 dice. And I couldn't feel the game, and so I ended up having to leave it because I couldn't I couldn't feel the game, and the as a general rule, I don't like the mission element to begin with. I like it to actually have some some type of growth. I don't just like the to have the numbers and crunch the numbers. And the cool thing was is this is the kicker for me, is the storyteller was telling amazing stories. He was getting in a character. These the the characters and what was going on, you know, was like he was taking us to this magical sci-fi punk land, and it was really well done. But all the players and everything were just, it was just killing me because I'm like, God, you you know it, the which ironically the guys that actually didn't have the role playing skills actually could role play, but they didn't talk that much. So they would come out and they would role play here and there and everything, but they had no role playing skills. But the ones that were supposed to be the designated, the equivalency of a bard and paladin of the group and everything, the ones that were designated for the position and everything, they they couldn't role play to save their life, or at least they chose not to, and they they made the game like it was kind of like Tom and Jerry, where it had no, you get put in this wonderful magical land, and then you're running around with Beavis and Butthead, and so I ended up having to leave that group, and I digress. I have no qualms at all with if you're the type of person that likes to hack and slash, you don't like to role play, or you're not good at role playing, and you don't want to, whatever your reason is and everything, it is a game. Enjoy the game, play the game the way that you want to play the game, and whatever's going to bring you satisfaction. If that brings you back every once in a while, that's fine. Get into your group or whatever. But for me, I couldn't stay in a group like that. It just, I wasn't getting what I wanted out of it, and so I had to move on to a different group. I just But it was a really good game, and I really enjoyed it. And I even then I like to get into another Shadowrun game, and one that really has that role playing element. And I wish I could almost steal the storyteller and put him in to another game, but it was a good game. It just, the other characters, I just don't feel like they took the game seriously. And once again, I'm not opposed to the way that they want to play the game and everything, because there's lots of ways that you could play a game that's disruptive and unacceptable. They were not playing disruptive and unacceptable. They would do stuff like, "Hi, I'm gonna go running down the road in broad daylight, and we're actually scouting out a building across the street, and I'm gonna jump from car hood to car hood to car hood and everything, and shoot my gun in the middle of the air." Um, we're literally trying to scout. We're actually pulling Overwatch on this building over here, and you're doing that. And just real. I mean, like nonstop doing stuff like that. And I got to a point where, and this was the deciding factor for me that I had to leave the game, is I literally was trying to persuade them to stop doing stuff in the game by rolling dice, and I would role play it out, be like, and then I could see the look on their face, be like, all you had to do was ask me, and I would have done it. And then I realized, this is their game. I stepped into their game. I'm trying to make their game into my game, and that's not right. So I said, I thought to myself, I'm like, no, let them have their game. Let them play the game that they want to play. If the storyteller really wanted it to go more role playing, he would have, tried to push it more, if that's what he wanted. But this is their game, and so I backed out, and I let them have their game the way that they wanted to have it and everything, because they were enjoying it, and they were there before I came. But that's what I have to say about that. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and let me know what you think.